In a previous video, we discussed how the Department of the Army and the CIA were involved in a project called the Gateway Process. This study was conducted to expand the human consciousness to transcend outside of the human body into the quantum field to retrieve information for the military complex. This declassified document was released in 1983 and has caused a ripple effect throughout society that has left many scratching their heads. In a particular paragraph of the document called Quality of Consciousness, it's noted earlier that the out-of-body state involves projection of a major portion of the energy pattern that represents human consciousness so that it may move either freely throughout the terrestrial spheres for purposes of information acquisition or into other dimensions outside of time-space, perhaps to interact with other forms of consciousness within the universe. The biggest concern in this document is when you reach paragraph 29, which is called the Hemi-Sync introduced. Once the participants have learned the humming, the chanting, the meditations and visualizations, they're also taught a technique called the energy balloon, where they're to imagine a tortoise going in at the top of their head, out of their root of their body, around their feet, and back up to the head again, just like the earth has its own torus energy field. They're taught this, and this is the reason why, and it says near the bottom, if you'll look there, it says, the energy balloon, which sets up a pattern very reminiscent of the cosmic egg discussed earlier, not only enhances bodily energy flow and encourages earlier achievement of a suitable resonant state, but it is also designed to provide protection against conscious entities possessing lower energy levels. We all know what a lower energy level being or entity is. It's something that is dark, unnatural, and most likely evil. Now, what is very concerning here is the idea of being approached by an entity that could cause you harm. This sounds very similar to a passage in the Emerald Tablets where Thoth talks about entities that were invited into Atlantis, which was provoked by evil priests that were practicing during the Atlantis times. Thoth said in the Emerald Tablet that when they opened up a portal into another dimension and was letting in these lower level entities, it was one of the reasons why Atlantis fell and was overtaken and pulled under into the Atlantic Ocean. I must point out here that they have made a comment about how other people who had already achieved a certain level of knowledge and technique prior to the program succeeded better when they entered into the quantum field, especially being approached by such entities. There is also a passage in the Emerald Tablet found in Tablet 8 where Thoth mentions how to astral project, that you are always to move in curves and circles and not angles. What he's meaning here is the Kundalini energy, which is all curves and circles. It looks like a serpent up the spine of the human body. This is how your spirit and your soul is made to leave and re-enter your body. These chakras are called the 7 lords of the cycles in the tablet, and they exist on every dimension. They also represent the 7 planets of our solar system, and each planet represents different human characteristics and challenges that must be overcome through doing the chakra work to escape the simulation. He also gives a magic power word to protect yourself while traveling throughout the quantum field and when exiting and re-entering your body. I will do a video in the future on this magic word and how the chakra system is to be used when you're astral projecting. He's also calling these entities that are met out in the quantum field the hounds of the barrier. Well, these are the same representations that we see in Egypt by the name Anubis, and their job is to keep the souls in the matrix. In Egypt, this matrix was called the duat. Thoth continues that you are not to use angles or corners, which means don't try to achieve astral projection by cutting corners, by taking shortcuts like straight lines or going through portals to achieve it, that you're always to go through the curves, which is the Kundalini energy. You have to learn it and don't take shortcuts, because when you do this, you're putting your soul and your spirit in danger to be taken by these dark entities. And this is real concerning, considering that this document is stating that they're using their own soldiers for this study to astral project out into the quantum field to retrieve info for the government's intelligent purposes. This is why they had the Egyptian mystery schools, to teach all this information so people understood that this was not games, this is not something to play with. Don't look for an angle to cheat your way through spiritual gifts or ascension. Your spirit is not something to toy and play with, that it is part of the great, all, and absolute, and you should love, respect, cherish, and take care of it. Well, that's everything for today. I will be doing another video on how to achieve all these different levels of success through the chakra system and what it's required to escape the simulation that we've been speaking of. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and like and share if you'd like. And I look for you again. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.